Good evening. So, today was mildly disappointing overall. And that's entirely because I'm still not in possession of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. In fact, it will probably not be here until Monday. But, I mean, ultimately that's fine. I didn't expect it to get here today. I kind of hoped it would show up tomorrow instead. Because, the shipping was 2 day. And Saturday's still a delivery day for FedEx. So it's turning into 3 day. And I am giving them the benefit of the doubt of not counting Sunday because obviously it's business days. But what this probably means is FedEx will do a handoff to the local post office tomorrow instead of delivering it themselves. And so I won't get it until Monday when the mail is delivered again, because it'll happen like late, or at the very least after the carriers have gone out. So that's a bit of a shame, but it's whatever. Also, I've developed razor bumps on my stomach and chest, and that's not fun. So hopefully that goes away soon. Life is pain. It's not so much like itchy or like, it just kind of feels like I've got a bunch of splinters. It's like mild pinpricks, but dozens of them at any given time. So that's fun. I literally turned all of my stiff chest and stomach hair into shrapnel that is now stabbing me. Or at least that's what it feels like. I somehow managed to turn it all into shrapnel. But anyway, I finished Horizon on Ultra Hard. I continued to just shotgun the hell out of it. I think I finished everything in like roughly 10 hours, which is, I think How Long to Beat puts, the main story, if you're not skipping cutscenes and everything, at around 15, 16, something like that. My first run with Frozen Wilds and everything included ended up being around 70. But that's not entirely accurate because it's a lot more common these days for me to either get distracted for a significant period of time, anything between 15 minutes to an hour, or like get up to go do something and it turn into an hour, hour and a half, 3 hours of either yard work or what have you. And then I'll come in and get a shower, and by the time everything's said and done, it's been running for a good long time and it doesn't stop then. So there's that. That's one reason I liked, that's one thing Final Fantasy VII Remake did that I feel like more games should do. If you were idle in the pause menu for like 3 minutes or so, it would stop the clock. No, if you start moving around in the menu again, the clock would start again, so it wouldn't just, stop counting because you were doing some intense materia sorting or something like that. But but as far as just being idle, it was really forgiving, um, which was a welcome little thing that I don't know how many other games actually do. It would be nice if it's not that big a deal. I just kind of would have liked a more accurate representation of the time I spent playing the game, and I guess the proper way to do that is, at the very least, always put my PlayStation into sleep mode when I'm walking away from the game for a while. But like I said, sometimes I'll just get up to go to the bathroom, and that'll turn into checking on my dad in the yard, which will turn into me coming back in, getting dressed. Maybe not even coming back in, sometimes just staying out there for an hour, hour and a half. Who knows how long, and then come in, get a shower, get settled. Or, like, if I stop to eat, I'll often, like, play off and on while I'm eating. Because I'm not one to just eat in a hurry. I do very much take, or at least when I'm home, like if I'm out somewhere, the thing we are doing is eating. But like, when I'm home and I'm in my room, I'm watching stuff, I'm just, chilling. I'm not in a hurry. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever really been a fast eater. And that was further hammered into me when my my little sister was. And I went through a period of my time where I was mortified of people vomiting. Like, we were trying to watch some movie, right? So Dad's trying to get, like, the DVD player or something set up. And while he's doing that, like, I was like 8 or 9 or something like that. There's some, like, trash TV movie on. I'm pretty sure it was like, had something to do with like a possession, or like a like a demonic possession, or like might have just been a general spook movie or something like that. But like, this dude is interrogating another dude in a room the size of a gymnasium for some reason. I don't know if this was just some I can't remember the context of why they were here. Like, it might have been some abandoned place or something like that. All I know is that at one point, like, they're standing about an arm's length from each other when the man being interrogated just starts projectile vomiting. And it's like 2 or 3 minutes straight of, like, fire hose level. And like, it was just like fluid. It was just like mildly pink fluid. But something about that, like, it doesn't, like, even right now recounting it does not bother me. But, like, something about him just doing that with such force, like, it knocked the other person back. Like, it knocked them on the ground, and not because they stumbled back because they were surprised. It was like, Hollywood cable yank back scene. And like, the guy that was, like I said, it was just like 2 or 3 minutes straight, and at the end he was just kind of spasming on the ground, probably because he hadn't breathed in 3 minutes because of the fire hose of pink, of, like, when I say mildly pink, think like really weak pink lemonade. But yeah, I say all that to say I was just mortified of people being sick. And warning, this is a little bit, this part's actually going to be gross, because the other part's just silly in hindsight. But anyway, I remember I was like, I can't remember how old we were. We were fairly young, but like, my sister had eaten something really quick, and I hadn't been paying attention to it. I was doing a puzzle or something, like one of those giant floor puzzles or something. And she came over and was doing it with me. When she just like hiccup burps, and there's a mostly intact hard-boiled egg on the floor now. Because she just inhaled it, basically. And I remember getting up and running to my parents' room on the other end of the house. For context, like we've shown, I live in a double wide, so it's much longer than it is wide. So, like, this happened in the kitchen. I was just like it was the furthest point in the house I could get away from her and hid. And I remember my dad coming to get me, kind of chuckling at me, but understanding. In like an understanding way. It was less that he was chuckling that I didn't want to be around it, and more that I had got up, ran away to my parents' room, the furthest point away from them, and hid under the covers. Because I didn't want to be around it at all. And it probably didn't help that, like, my sister had a lot of inner ear problems, which led to a lot of sinus problems, which, like, somehow just led to her, like, she would, like, up until she was, like, 12 or 13, she would just puke at the drop of a hat. Like, it was normal once a month for me. Like, my bedroom is right across from the bathroom, and it was fairly normal for me, like, once a month to be woken up by the sounds of, like, the doors or even her actually puking. So for me to be, mortified and, like, disgusted by that, there were definite times where growing up was hell. I grew out of that eventually, thank God. But yeah, that was just a part of my life for a while. I'm trying to remember why this is relevant. Why did I start talking about this? Oh, so that's the egg thing. That's another one of the reasons I am a very slow eater. Like, I am pretty damn methodical. It's not to, like, obsessive compulsive levels, but I very rarely talk with my mouth full. I chew well. I don't. It's all that good stuff. That was a fun discussion, wasn't it? So after finishing Horizon, I was gonna, and even actually did start a new game and was just gonna try and blitz up until I could do Frozen Wilds again. But I got bored before I even finished with, like, the sort of prologue first act thing. So there's that. And instead, I swapped over to Dead Space 3, my least played of the series, to just kind of, I've been rewatching Vinny play 1 and 2. I played the hell out of both of those games when they came out. I did something like 6 laps in the original Dead Space, and I believe, if not managed to, I got very close to taking the time to fully power node every weapon in the game. And I just enjoyed doing that for some reason. And 2 I played a lot as well. I don't remember if I ever played it as much as the first one, but I think that was more or less because I own it on the PS3, and mine started dying at one point. And then there's Dead Space 3, which I have decently fond memories of, but the more I think about it, the more I realize those are of me and my friend playing co-op, and there's a lot to be said about how Visceral didn't get to make the game they wanted to, but there are plenty of times, or at least to me, that I can see the game they wanted to make through the corporate meddling of EA. Um, and I can see them doing their damnedest to make the best of EA's demands, let's say. Like, I want to say co op was entirely EA. I don't remember. Um, but they ended up doing some interesting things with it as far as like they really I at first I kind of lamented that you couldn't play it split screen, but later on I like the idea of having to play it in two separate locations, um, or at least where you can't see the other person's screen, because there are plenty of moments of headfuckery where only one character is seeing the things. Um, and so, while it's like you and your friend aren't familiar with the game, all of a sudden, over the garbage headset, or at least this was my experience over the garbage 360 headset. Um, I'm either my friend is hearing me or I'm hearing my friend just freak out for some reason. And I'm like, dude, there's nothing there. And then like I remember. No, I was gonna say something, but that's kind of spoilery. It's making me want to find out if the PC port's half decent, and try and plan to play it with someone around Halloween. I know a friend of mine likes to stream games, or a couple of my friends like to do game streams, and if there's a halfway solid PC port, I wouldn't mind just kind of tagging along while someone else plays, because I'm familiar enough with the series in general that I'm more than happy to take the back seat. In fact, I remember when we originally got the games, um, I got it a little bit before my friend and managed to beat it entirely um, before they even started. So we were able to do. I was able to do co-op with him, where I was seeing newer content and playing in the background, um, while he still got his, a mostly intact uh, experience, because, like we kept each other alive, yeah. Um, but it still got hectic as hell, and I wasn't over. I did my best to not be overbearing and stuff. I always made sure I was behind him in terms of like letting him explore and not just running around grabbing things. Um, not just the stuff that I remember, not letting him leave behind if he was going to leave the area, but not, immediately go, okay, there's a thing behind that over there you're going to want to pick up. Leaving him with an organic experience while, one, I was getting to do my second playthrough, and two, it was the first time that I got to see co-op stuff. So the co-op stuff we were both experiencing blind. Um, but I was more than happy to be sort of a shadow for that run. But anyway, this one's gone on long enough, I think. What with tales of fear of vomit and all that good stuff. I'll catch you all tomorrow.